All right, Sascha, I just wanted to ask you about things like ultrasounds and electromagnetic radiation, EMFs, and things like that. What are your opinions about how these things can affect the development of a fetus?
That's a big one. And now this, I think, is a really big experiment that we are exposing ourselves to these days, the EMFs. We've never, there's the one thing to add, the toxic foods and vaccines and things like that. But then on top of that, we have EMFs, and we are energy beings, and they are messing with our systems. Like as I talk to you right now, I have my foot on a grounding mat because I cannot be on my laptop without it, because I'm really sensitive to it and I can feel it. And I know the difference that it makes to be grounded, which is the way to protect ourselves from the EMFs, is to be physically connected with the earth through actually standing barefoot on the earth or having grounding products. So development of a fetus is that, do we know exactly what that does? We don't really right now, but I think we're going to find out. But we do know that it can really cause problems with learning problems and focus and issues like that. So what I recommend for women, for when you're pregnant and even prior, getting in contact with that earth as much as possible, standing in a body of water, getting your bare feet on the ground, sleeping on a grounding sheet, using a grounding mat when you're using your computer, keeping your cell phone off of you, better yet, getting rid of your cell phone and you at least using it on speakerphone when you're talking on it when you're pregnant, because these things are going, you're a conductor. It's going right through you. It's going right through your baby, to your baby. So how is that going to impact them? Do we know exactly? Not that I know of at the moment, but we do know that it's going to cause problems, because now, guess what? Cell phones cause cancer. Cell phones cause brain cancer. Well, if it's causing brain cancer in us, it's obviously going to be affecting the developing fetus in one way or another. And when it comes to ultrasounds, that is another one. Like for myself, I didn't do any ultrasounds at all. I chose not to. Now, the really scary thing about ultrasounds is they've become entertainment. And now we can do these really high definition 4D ultrasounds, and see what's going on. And we invite people to come watch. And it's been shown that the ultrasounds, when you look at an ultrasound and you look at a baby, why is it hard to find the baby? It's because they keep moving away. They keep moving away from that ultrasound. It doesn't feel good. It's very loud for them in there. And they can also cause heating, and they can cause heating of the brain. And causing it, there is proposed that they can cause things like autism or brain developmental issues and things like that. So is it going to change the outcome? When I talk to people about ultrasounds, I ask them, is it going to change the outcome? Whatever you see there, because a lot of times they also potentially find something that may be wrong with the child. So you have this very stressful pregnancy, which is impeding the growth and development of your baby. Right. And then everything turns out to be fine in the end. Or if you find something, is it going to change what you do in the end? Are you going to terminate your pregnancy? Are you going to carry it full term? Like if you find something, what? If it doesn't change the outcome, why are you getting it in the first place? Some people, for whatever reason, they've been programmed to need to be able to see that. But, just wait till you hear that heartbeat. And that's the most amazing thing in the world, when you hear that heartbeat for the first time. It's incredible. Even when you know you're pregnant, and finally when you get big enough to hear that heartbeat, it's like, wow, it's amazing. Right. So, yeah, really, there's a great magazine called Pathways for, I can't remember what the subtitle is to, but it's a great magazine on really creating healthy, well-adjusted, robust life. And they had a great article some time back about, the potential dangers around ultrasound. And it's serious. And now that kids are being exposed to a lot more of them, then there could be a lot more serious impacts with that. So
right. Yeah, I think a lot of people just don't realize, just because you can't see the radiation coming off of something. Like I'm sitting here as well, I'm grounded on a pad, and I think that people, I see women holding cell phones right on their belly, and I see this kind of stuff, and from what I've heard, it's could be something to do with how the radiation, because a child's brain and skull is not completely developed, it breaks down the blood-brain barrier, which causes issues in the brain. And I don't know. I just think that, I think that anything that's not natural may be something that, could come back to bite us.
And we do know that there's issues. So when you're developing fetus or child that's just brand new, the impacts are only going to be heightened, right? They're only going to be more susceptible to any of the negative impacts that are coming through from that. So we really need to pay attention to that, because kids these days are growing up with cell phones. This is another scary thing. Right. That brain is quickly developing and growing, and it's being constantly exposed to cell phone radiation all the time. It's a scary thing. And again, I think we're going to see in the future some impacts. There's some major impacts that we're going to see around genetically modified foods and EMFs. I think those are two big ones that we're really playing with fire with.
Yeah, I think you're onto something there, and I think that the EMFs are going to be in 20 years from now what smoking was 20 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Possibly. But what do you think about like morning sickness, things like that? Are those things? Is that normal to get morning sickness to some degree? And if it's not, what's a good way to kind of offset that?
Well, always getting yourself as healthy as possible in the beginning, right? And that's what we're not doing. We're not healthy in the beginning. We don't have a healthy gut. We don't have a healthy constitution. We don't have a strong immune system. We're just not healthy. So whatever you can do to support that in the beginning, things